Well, greetings, vinyl community. My big news is that my latest album, Rat's Alley, is now available on vinyl. So everybody is now able to enjoy my splendid music in the two-sided format for which it is intended. There is the lilac-colored vinyl tying in with the theme of the album that is, well, half of it is based on the poem The Wasteland. So you can see that Rob Berger's art includes some lilacs there, so it all ties together. He's got lots of secret clues in this album art. Looks great in the 12-inch format. There is a story I have to tell about the album, and I really am reluctant to tell this story, but it has to be told, which is that there is a flaw on this album. There is a defect. The story is that during the vinyl manufacturing process, I was sent test pressings, and the test pressings had a flaw. It's not huge, there were some clicks. And I rejected the test pressing. I said, do it again. They did it again, but this caused a delay of like 2 months in the manufacturing process. They sent me another test pressing. This one was fine. So I gave them the go-ahead. The albums were manufactured. They arrived a few days ago, and they were made from the first set of plates with the defect. So it's still listenable, but that's going to bug me forever. I've made disc makers aware of the issue, and we'll see what, if anything, they do to make it good. But here it is. It's my new baby for what it's worth. And if I don't forget, I'll include a needle drop here and let you know in the comments section below where you can get this. Stopped off at my local record store yesterday and was very surprised to come across a copy of this H.P. Lovecraft second album in a unipack gatefold that pulls the record out from the inside. This is a Chicago band, but they have a very West Coast sound. They sound a lot like the Jefferson Airplane. Harmony vocals, and you'll almost swear you hear Marty Balin in there. Great song that was a little bit of an FM standard, At the Mountains of Madness, of course named for the novelette by the original H.P. Lovecraft. So it's a great psychedelic album from 1968. Not one I was expecting to find at my local. Another one I picked up was Camera by Renaissance from 1981. This is on the IRS label. They had a change of label, change of personnel, change of musical direction. So this is their first of a couple of albums for the IRS label where they really tried to go in a kind of synthesizer-oriented new wave direction. Very much more poppy, but still has the kind of good pomp rock sound of classic Renaissance. But basically short, very snappy songs. IRS inner sleeve. IRS label. So, you might hear a touch of new wave pop in there, maybe a hint of Lena Lovitch. Even since they're on IRS and they're label mates, maybe they were sat down and given a Go-Go's album to listen to. This was around the same time as the first Go-Go's album. And in fact, when this came out, I spent a lot of time, this was back in the days of the Sony Walkman cassette player, as one's portable music delivery system. I spent a lot of quality time with a C90 I recorded with this album on one side and the Go-Go's Beauty and the Beat on the other. In the jazz section, wonderful ECM release from Eberhard Weber, great bassist, Silent Feet, and his group Colors, which includes Charlie Mariano on saxophone and flute, Rainer Brenninghaus on piano and synthesizer, and John Marshall on drums. Well known for his stint in Soft Machine, and he is back again in the Soft Machine in the present day. Its current incarnation. And this album comes with an insert featuring the artwork of the late Maya Weber, Eberhard Weber's wife, which is wonderful. I've always loved her artwork on most of Eberhard Weber's own albums and a few other ECM releases, such as John Abercrombie Gateway. And I was a little surprised to get this single sheet insert because I'd seen in the past that this came as a 2-page folding insert, but with all the same pictures. It's just that the front of it had just this little picture and the title and nothing else. It was just blank white. And then page 2 was this image. Page 3 was these images, and the back was blank. So somebody decided, hey, we can squeeze these together and use half the paper. So that's the version I got here. Great album, very much the classic ECM sound. This is from 1978 and sounds it. And that's a good thing in the case of ECM. And one more from the local shop, Vinyl Solution. This was from the 49-cent Classical Bin, Piano Music of Eric Satie, Volume 1, performed by Aldo Ciccolini. This is the first of 6 volumes on the Angel label. And the great thing about this series is that every volume included a different variation on the famous Picasso drawing of Eric Satie. This one, of course, has this triple exposure effect. One of them has this superimposed against a blue sky with clouds. One of them has a black background with a sort of rainbow version of the image, and so on. This one, of course, includes the biggest hits, the Trois Gymnopédies, and the my favorite, the Trois Nocturnes, which is sort of a companion piece to that, but with a more exotic Near Eastern feel, I think. And many of Satie's classic titles, such as 3 Next to Last Thoughts, Granite-like Panics Around 13 O'Clock, 3 Pieces in the Form of a Pear, and Venomous Obstacles, and so on. The man knew his way around a title. Just released on the Impulse label from Alice Coltrane. This is a double LP Kirtan. Turiya sings, Turiya being the short form of Alice Coltrane's Hindu name. And this was music that she originally released on cassette as a sort of private release for her ashram. And the pieces as they appeared on the cassette, as I understand it, had other instruments overdubbed. And this is stripped back, so it's just the basic tracks of Alice Coltrane singing and playing organ to accompany herself. Very solemn, devotional, very meditative, obviously. And the titles, beautiful package, the blue Impulse label, colored inside. I think that's very classy. And there's inside of the gatefold, and it comes also with a nice little booklet with words to the pieces and liner notes from a couple of Alice Coltrane's children, Ravi Coltrane and Sita Michelle Coltrane. So some very good late night listening, or perhaps early Sunday morning listening from Alice Coltrane. This one I just received on the Antilles label, a reissue from 1976, I think, thereabouts. The Watersons for Pence and Spicy Ale. This is all traditional British folk, all done a cappella, some of it solo, some of it by the full quartet, and some of it by different permutations. It's three of the Waterson siblings plus Martin Carthy, who is today married to Norma Waterson. Extensive notes on the songs. Not the greatest recording in the world. I find it very shrill, kind of harsh on the ear, even though there are no instruments. It's just vocals. But a lot of fun to listen to. And since I showed my own album on that purpley colored vinyl, which I'm calling Lilac because of the theme, I'll show another album, another new release on purple vinyl. This is more purple. The new one from Frank Zappa. Zappa 88, The Last U.S. Show. This is a 4 LP box set. And, let's show the other side of the label with the Zappa silhouette. That was sort of a theme of that 1988 tour, which was Frank Zappa's final tour. The tour that fell apart before it ever got to my part of the world due to interband disputes and Zappa's just not wanting to deal with the behavior of a lot of the band members. So there is the cover. This 1988 tour was a particularly political tour for Frank Zappa. He had voter registration booths set up at the venues along the U.S. legs of the tour, leg of the tour, since they never did complete the U.S. portion, when they would have come back and done the West Coast. And many of the songs, the new songs introduced on this tour, were generally very politically oriented, although a lot of them had to do not directly with politicians, but with evangelists who were kind of tied in with the Republican Party. So there's a lot of making fun of Jimmy Swaggart and Jim and Tammy Baker. Particularly on this album, the Jesus Thinks You're a Jerk epic song about Tammy Baker, and the whole sort of scene surrounding that evangelistic, televangelistic cult. There is a strange aspect to this album, which is that there's a lot of stuff on here not written by Frank Zappa. There's some classical music. He does Stravinsky, the Royal March from l'Histoire du Soldat, which segues into theme from the Bartók Piano Concerto No. 3. There's a version of Ravel's Bolero, which, upon original release on the album The Best Band You Never Heard in Your Life, caused Frank some headaches when it turned out that the song was not yet in the public domain in all countries, so he had to withdraw the song from that album after it was included on the first pressing. And the entire fourth LP of this set is all material not written by Frank Zappa. And that includes the famous version of Stairway to Heaven, and that's followed by the Stairway to Heaven includes both the Frank Zappa performing a guitar solo of his own, and then the original Jimmy Page solo arranged note for the brass section. It's followed by a relatively faithful cover of I Am the Walrus. Side 8 of the album is Whipping Post, Bolero, and finally a slightly altered version of America the Beautiful. I Am the Walrus is not the only Beatles cover, however. Even before we get to that disc 4, side 6 includes the Beatles medley, which consists of Norwegian Wood, Strawberry Fields Forever, and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, all with the lyrics rewritten to refer to the sexual scandals surrounding those television evangelists and Jimmy Swaggart and so on. So Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds becomes Louisiana Hooker with Herpes. That's the level of sub-Mad Magazine satire going on. It's really very childish, but it's now documented for all to hear. Well, thank you very much for watching. Be well, and I will talk with you again soon. Bye-bye for now.